Don't start any trouble out there this morning. That's Tux and Morris. And of course, Marty's right here. Hi, Marty. Good morning. Hi, Stripe. Hey, buddy. Don's out there getting his paper. It's still pretty cloudy, but I heard Dawn ask A if we were going to have rain today, and she said no. So I guess we'll see. Everybody's here on the backside this morning. Enjoying the last few days of my flowers before the frost comes in and takes them. I like my little fuquay jungle, the end of the season. Hey there, Tux. I tried to get him to jump up on his own, and I had to lift him again. He wants to be lifted. He tried to rush over and follow the other cats, which, you know, seems like in the morning he tolerates them being near him, but at any other time of the day he's ready to take them out, so I just don't trust it. I mean, I've had to get between him and Stripe a couple times this week, so it ain't over, the posturing between the male cats. I'm here, finally. Hi. Where's Mama? Is Mama in her chair? There's Mama. Hi, Gray. Hello. I have to say, it actually feels like fall out here. It's not cold. I'm in bare feet and short sleeves, but, you know, I'd say it's in the 60s and the dew point is down. The humidity doesn't feel as oppressive. It's kind of nice. You got that fall breeze and the rustle of the leaves, and, yeah. Air's kind of clean after the rain yesterday. Grass doesn't really look like it needs to be mowed yet. I'll take it. The grass is, you know, slowing down for the season. You know, the media should just stop reporting on shortages, because every time they report about any kind of shortage, they create more shortages and stockpiling. Right. They just need to stop doing it. They need to, really. Yeah.
The article about bacon, and this is from the LA Times, reprint from the LA Times. California passed a law that said that it's going to hurt the ability. There's very few hog bacon producers or hog producers who meet their criteria.
Their new law, their new, so yeah.
Unless you meet their law, you can't sell your products in California, your pork product, bacon. So only 4% of the people, hog producers, meet that criteria. I'm getting confused.
Yeah, I think I told you about this going into effect a month or two ago.
So there's no bacon anywhere in California. It's all big. As soon as it's put out on the shelves, it's instantly, and the prices have gone through the roof. It's like the toilet paper and the hand sanitizer
from COVID.
From COVID is that now, because you're not going to be able to buy bacon. It's going to be very expensive in California. It's probably going to be, you know, the bacon prices are here. We buy a lot of bacon.
Yeah.
And we know how bacon.
Let's just say we pay between $8 and $12 a pack, and the packs are not a pound. But yeah, I don't know.
Like 22.
And that's whether we get it from Butcher Box or Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the stuff at Walmart, the Black Label Hormel or whatever, is probably not that much cheaper.
Right. Well, it's because we like to bake. But we use the bacon grease, and so it's more than just the meat.
Yeah.
In other words, most people like really super lean.
We look for the fattest ones.
We want one that's little.
The ones that no one else would take, we grab.
That's the ones we want. That's right. And anyway, I'm just saying is that, get Marianne's point, is that the news media causes this problem. I mean, it's, you know, they report it now in North Carolina. People are going to go out and
right. Well, I'm not immune to it in any way, and Butcher Box is having a bacon sale this month, and I already ordered an extra 5-pack because I think we get 3 packs every time anyway. Yeah. I'm now going to go double it.
Yeah.
I am. I'm going to go double it. Don and I are seriously worried we might not be able to get bacon. No bacon would be not acceptable to us. So
right. Well, it's a significant source of our food and again, the bacon grease is really important for cooking.
Yeah.
Well, we got another, I guess, solid 3/10 of an inch, 4/10 of an inch, something like that.
So Don and I are headed to Cary to Hemlock Bluffs Nature Preserve this morning. That is 13 miles, 24 minutes, and conveniently near Whole Foods. I wanted to run in and grab a few things. So Don and I have been here at least one time before, but it's been several years. It's a very woodsy trail, so not necessarily one you want to do in the summer. But it's pretty nice today. It's pretty reasonable, the temperature, low sun. I think we'll be fine in the woods today, bug and heat wise. And it really is Hemlocks over there. I think Jules has been out of the garage long enough to tell you it's 69 degrees and that to be an accurate temperature. So like I said, it's pretty nice. I just don't know that we're gonna see the sun today, but I don't know that we're supposed to get much more rain. Don says he's only got about 30 minutes invested in cleaning Jules up, but I'd have to say the windshield looks really nice, so I didn't pay too much attention to the paint. I'm sure it looks nice too, but at any point he's not super worried about what's on the road today. It wasn't like he spent 90 minutes on the car. And Don and I both had blood sugars in the 70s this morning, mid-70s, like 75 and 76. It's amazing how when we eat the same stuff we end up with very similar blood sugars. I'm looking up into life at right now we're at 62 hours. I had put 6 p.m. today as our target. I don't know that we're going to make 6 p.m. but we are well into the everything good autophagy and everything good happening phase. We both felt on and off a little low energy or a little woozy this morning. I mean, 75 is a perfectly fine blood sugar level. It's just when you're used to running closer to 95 or 105, which would be very common for a person on a ketogenic diet, it feels low even though it's not dangerously so. But after I did morning chores, my body had made some glucose and was up to 86. So we've got our glucose pills with us if we feel like it though. Yeah, I took a picture of the Life app screen to put up here. 17,402 people are using the app to document their fasting right now, and 6 p.m. tonight, which like I said, I don't think we're gonna make 6 p.m. but that would be 70 hours for us, since we haven't eaten since 8:30 p.m. on Thursday. Anything but electrolytes and water. We have been taking electrolytes, salt, magnesium, and potassium. You gotta do that if you're gonna fast.
Here?
Yes, it is. Just showing you the progress on the Beltline stuff over here. Kildare Farm Road and Holly Springs Road. We parked in the overflow parking, which is a little farther away from the trail, so it gets us more steps, and also Jules is safe. There's no slots here, no parking spots here that aren't going to have leaves coming down on the car. Don will just take the blower to the car and get them out of the crevices when we get home. This is a nature center. Been a long time since I was in here with the kids. Once a year they have a big yard sale here out in the parking lot. It's a nicely painted cistern, collecting the water off the roof to use to water the plants. Mass required 1 to 5 on Sunday. Don's looking for the restrooms, which are to the left here. Nice here. It's been a while, like I said. I used to come for sure on the yard sale day every year. Pull in the parking lot and it would be all set up in this area. It's a little chilly. I almost could have wore a light jacket. There's a good breeze. I think that's milkweed, maybe? Not sure. The recycled garden, it says. Everyday items that you can use as planters. Shoes, yeah. I like the idea of the bathtub, and Dawn vetoed that a few years ago. The old bike with the basket, I like that idea too. Yeah, I told Dawn if we came in and went left, that takes us on the 1.2 mile trail, and then there's several other 0.8 point something else trails. We're not looking for mega effort today since we're fasting, but nice walk is good. And leave the mushrooms alone. Mushrooms are an important part of life in the forest. They help to turn leaves and logs back into good soil for the other plants and are a food source for many of the preserve's animal inhabitants. I know for a fact that turtles love mushrooms. I've seen the woodsy box turtles eating them. So we want to go left here to the Chestnut Oak Trail. I said left and left. That gets us on the 1.2 longer trail. And it will look very much like this with a little more elevation a good part of the way here. Sure, this will be, again, another place that'll be super pretty in 2 or 3 weeks, but we're here when we're here. And no saying we can't come back. Nice uneven, soft mulch ground. It reminds me of the trail at Yates Mill. There is no water feature here though, which was the one thing that doesn't inspire me to walk here super often, is there's no pond or lake or water area. I really like the water areas. Well, I have to say the mulch on this trail makes it feel nice and spongy on your feet. It's good for traction and it's good for less impact. We haven't tried to run. We're just enjoying the walk. There is definitely some steps here and definitely some elevation, so we're gonna get a workout no matter what. We will eventually be down low on the bluffs. It's a little more breezy up top here today than we had anticipated. Imagine how pretty this will be as we get more color. So far the trail's been mostly downhill, very pretty. We haven't done any sprints on this uneven trail, any jog. My heart rate was at 115, all this downhill, now it's at 105. But you know what, it's just really enjoyable out here today, and sometimes you need that more than you need the run. Like I said, I have 3 exercise minutes so far. Oh well.
You can run around Whole Foods.
Right. Go home and get on the desk.
That shopping cart up that hill at Whole Foods.
Yeah, that definitely raises my heart rate, having to get up to the car. That's right.
Here you go, uphill.
Yeah, well, like I said, we're going to be down in the bluffs at one point. There are steps and there are definitely uphill sections. Or we could turn around now and it'd be nice uphill back to the parking lot.
By the time you get up that
Yeah,
hill.
so I'm just counting on some elevation today for those exercise minutes. Donna and I just had a conversation about raccoons. There was a sign along the trail about the nature preserve providing a safe spot for local wildlife, and it had a picture of a raccoon. And I told Dawn, I said, there's houses up on the bluff up there, and I suspect the raccoons prefer to go into the neighborhoods and forage for trash and other things than they do to do whatever they used to do in the woods. We've trained them to come. The little mama girl raccoon at the house the other day, I wanted to go out back, and you know, she's got clear eyes and she looks totally healthy, but they can carry rabies, so I'm very careful. But I went to go outside and she was like, are you seriously thinking I need to move because you're coming out here while I'm eating my food? Normally if we turn the lights on and we see them, we just come back in a half an hour. They're eating that leftover cat food. Don loves it that I'm feeding the local wildlife. He just loves it.
Not. I feed every critter in southern Wake County.
Almost.
Personally.
Almost.
Pay for it at least.
Well, I bet there was a little more water movement a few days ago.
Yeah.
It's pretty calm down there now, but you can tell the way it's washed out, it's not always so calm. And just because I was complaining about it being downhill, we get a little uphill. So I guess I was wrong about there being no water feature, considering there's a nice creek here. It's talking about the quartz rocks here and how they erode slower than other things. And Pokemon Go is telling me where all the signs are, because each sign is a Pokestop. It's very helpful. The Eagle Scout project. Well, it's good to know there's benches here should we need to feel like we need to rest for a minute. Yeah, today it sure would. Wow. I think I'll skip trying to get down to the water and back up the hill
Well,
today.
I tell you what, if you went all the way down to the water and back up that hill, that's a serious climb. I don't mean just because of the grade, but I mean we've been going downhill, and yet there's another, what, 100 feet of elevation between here and there?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a 300-foot drop we've gone. I mean, that's a serious elevation change.
That's very pretty. There's a nice deck here, overlook deck. I've got 10 out of 30 exercise minutes, and Don and I are both good with not over pushing it today, let's say.
Yeah, I don't have a big spring in my step.
Right, I'd be afraid if I took off and ran, then I'd be bent over, not feeling good, and have to sit down. It would be counterproductive. The little elevation changes uphill, downhill are perfectly enough enough stretch for me today. Now, we don't want to go to the park entrance, so we're not going straight. We're going this way, which is the Beech Tree Cove part of the trail now. The beech trees here are the ones that people like to carve their initials in. I know over in Willow Springs near my old house, John Adams Road, there were some Adams family members on their property back in the day that had carved their initials into the trees down by the creek. I'm sure I have a picture of it somewhere. Didn't seem to keep the beech tree from growing its normal life cycle, so we won't fuss too much, but I certainly have not carved into a tree. Although, I don't know, on our property, one carving of I Love Donnie, that might not be the end of the world. But we don't have any beech trees. There's another overlook coming up with one of those decks, platforms. I'd have to say, if you needed to sit down out here, this does have enough benches. Over there at Lake Johnson, they need to add some benches on that trail. There's basically a picnic area, 1 or 2 picnic tables in the whole 3 miles, and that's about it. We're gonna stay on the trail to the left. I just want to see the overlook. I'm gonna go back out and go left. Stay on the farther out trail. Obviously with some kids over there. You can't see too much here with the trees. The leaves are still on. But it is creek bed down there.
Yeah. Steps.
Yeah, I knew there were steps. It advertised steps. So this is a moderate. This is not a severe or high level, high intensity. I would consider this moderate, like not your starter trail for people starting out walking, but if you've been walking a little bit, this is a nice moderate extension. Some elevation, some uneven ground. Oh yeah, steps, like serious steps. It's like Raven Rock all over again.
Look at all these steps.
But that's down
All right, but it means you gotta come back up
somewhere.
somewhere.
Take them slow. We're not in a rush today. We're on Sunday time today. I'm gonna stop filming so I can hold the handrail. I think holding the handrail would be a good idea. There's a lot of slick mulch and stuff on the wood with it being damp. You mean this is just an overlook? It doesn't keep going?
We're good.
We gotta go right back up?
Come down.
Oh, okay. So I was full of it about there being no water feature here. So for future reference, and that's a big beech tree in front of us with carved initials. There's definitely water feature here. This might be Swift Creek. I'll have to look it up. Inquiring minds want to know. This is actually harder than the stairs. I think I'll pass that overlook. That doesn't seem to look at anything more interesting than where we just were. Park entrance straight ahead. West Hemlock Bluffs to the left. Come on, thin boy, work it. Work it, work it.
Like I said, this is about all I want to do.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't try to run early on.
Yeah, no need to run.
No need.
There's plenty of elevation.
Yeah, Don and I think we were here when I was going through chemo was the last time. So 9-ish years, 10-ish years. And we didn't do these hard elevations then. We went right out of the parking lot instead of west, or instead of left out of the parking lot. We went north instead of south. And over along the creek bed, it's flatter. Yeah, this is just another overlook to make sure that we have to climb back uphill.
The water's well over 100 feet. I'd say that's 125 feet down there.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how, I guess I didn't realize how mountainous or terrain, how the topology here, I didn't realize that, you know, you drive in a car and you just zoom up these hills and you don't really think about it. That if you were out actually walking up these hills, let me tell you, you would notice this one.
Right, well this is all formed by the water at some point.
Yeah.
It's called, they didn't call it Hemlock Bluffs Nature Preserve for nothing. Yeah, and I actually see what I think is a hemlock tree now. See the little low to the ground tree right there? I think that's a hemlock.
Oh, I agree. I think this is too.
Well, that's not the tree I'm talking about, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a hemlock, that's like a chestnut.
You gotta make me walk up this, is it?
Yeah. Don knows what a scheffalera is, and when it comes to fancy plants, that's at the top of his list.
Yeah.
He should leave the rest of the plant identification to me, and even I'm not that good.
Not my field.
Although I do own a tree identification book and have studied it some in my lifetime, so maybe above average, but certainly not at the top of the class on tree stuff either. And only for this small part of the world. We're at 1.4 miles and 20 exercise minutes for me. And we're moving on to the right side of the center back there, the right half of the loop. This says it's taking us to East Hemlock Bluffs. Park entrance is the severe right. We don't want that. Because I had figured it out that it wouldn't be too hard to get 2 miles by walking along the outer edge of all the loops and not taking any of the shortcuts back to the parking lot. And thankfully we're feeling well enough to continue on. Back to the middle, and now we're going to do the East Hemlock Plucks and Swift Creek Trail section. This is 0.8 miles. Sign installation, trail repair, mulching, Eagle Scout projects, all a bunch of stuff. Well, I've really enjoyed the signs because they made it good for Pokemon stuff. Children's Nature Trail here. This, I mean, it is really nice. Cary would be a fairly affluent section of our area. And schedule a group program if you'd like to come out and volunteer. They'll let you know what they need help with. Way cool. Smells like skunk over here. Not super strong, but definitely sometime in the last 24 hours. Some skunk let his whereabouts be known. Wow, these are big steps. This is a little harder on my knee. I'm gonna go sideways. That right knee has healed up so well since I stopped doing Taekwondo. I rarely have knee pain, but it'd be best. Down is more problematic than up on the knee, my knee issue. I think I had a partially torn hibiscus, listen to me. Meniscus. Oh, I got low brain energy, Donnie. I'm confusing plants with body parts. Wow.
Thing, it looks like a cypress.
Right, that's what I told you. That was a little one before. I was not confused about it, but I'm great that you're clarified now.
Mr. Don is not a tree.
Hemlocks are conifers, and they cannot have deciduous leaves on them. Which this tree in front of you right here with the light bark is a beech tree.
Sure. Yeah, there's some hemlocks down. I see. Well, thanks for helping me.
Well, yeah, this is the first time. It's called Hemlock Bluffs Nature Preserves, but there really aren't that many hemlock trees here. Well, even though we've gone uphill a little bit, I'm thinking going left at the center and coming around this way so far is definitely the way to go. Well, the Swift Creek down there, and that is what it is very full from the recent rains, because you know we had somewhere between 1 and 2 inches. But in here, Donnie, and it looks like a Christmas tree. It's a hemlock.
Got you, sweet. I agree.
This is a sourwood. Will soon be very pretty red. Right in front of you there, that's a sourwood. Beautiful red leaves in the fall. Kind of a junk tree, doesn't live wrong, doesn't grow super straight, but very pretty fall color and worth leaving in the yard. Don and I don't take them out at the house unless we have to. So I didn't like those stairs because they're eroded and the steps are too deep. I had to walk sideways to protect my right knee. And it's hurting a little bit, but not a lot. And we're gonna take the Swift Creek Trail here. It's a loop. So this might actually be the 0.8 mile start. I don't know. Anyway, we're taking it easy. We're doing okay. We're enjoying ourselves. There's a few other families out today, but not a ton of people out. Well, they're serious about it. Stay on the boardwalk and keep out of the creek. Shoot, there's enough water here for a float.
Yeah, you can go tubing in that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was bragging, oh, it's only 125 feet, so we've lost another 100 plus feet of elevation that we're going to have to go back up. Remember, what goes down got to go back up.
Okay, I'm good with it. So, boardwalk. It's a little high. Don says that's because the water comes up over the creek banks and it needed to be a little higher. I note that it has no handrails. Not that I'm bothered by that, but it could be problematic for some. You know, don't have a beverage before you come out here. Wow, seriously though, look at the creek. I guess they had a lot of problems with people.
See how the grass is laid over.
Yeah, you can tell when it went around the bend, it went up there. Yep. Wow, this goes on a long ways. It's a little slippery with the wet leaves. You wouldn't want to run it, the moss and the leaves. They talk about what they've done on this bend here in the creek to keep it from further eroding. I guess they're hoping they got some wood ducks. That's what that house there would be for. That's a wood duck house. We do have that type of duck in North Carolina. They're very reclusive. Even when around people. Yeah, yep. Definitely implies. Yeah, definitely implies the water was up high to knock those leaves into the fence. Well, the only wildlife I've visually seen today are a few squirrels, and I do mean a few. Oh yeah, you can tell the water came up there too. And recently.
Yeah, I agree. Like homes it.
Wow, look at the trunk of that tree.
It's a big sucker.
Yeah, it's a... I'm trying... No, it might...
Tulip poplars get huge. That's why...
Yeah, I do think it's a tulip poplar. I was seeing up there. That's not... The one in our front yard, the bark looks appreciably different, but ours isn't quite that big. It says we're standing on the dam of a mill pond that was active many years ago, and they're showing a picture of the inside of Yates Mill and the outside of West Point on the Eno, both of which we have been to and shown on the channel before.
Try to give you a hint of what it looked like.
And I guess I can definitely see
I agree.
The ridge, the high ridge here where the water may have been previously stopped.
Think about it. Somebody did that with shovels.
Oh God.
This was shovels. There were no...
Yeah.
There were no backhoes, no front end, no excavators.
I understand.
No bulldozers. It was just a guy with a shovel and a wheelbarrow.
Here you're actually walking along the creek.
Well, one of them.
Yeah.
It's not the
tributary or whatever. Yeah, yeah. Head over it. But anyway, Don was pointing out the hole in the canopy because that tree had come down, and it's an interesting study in what happens when you lose a large tree in the woods. That's what you were saying, right?
That's right. Actually, I think that's a maple tree.
Well, not the tree that came down, but it broke a small tree. Yeah, that's a maple. Must have had an injury.
Boy, the stump was rotted.
Long live the forest. These fertile slopes are dominated by trees like northern red oak, tulip poplar, and beech. They can live for hundreds of years. Definitely a beech tree. Well, thankfully it doesn't seem to really affect the tree too negatively. The ones at the old house, the John Adams ones, those are 100, 150 years old. Those trees are really old. Yeah, well, if only I'd have seen, you know. I really want to accidentally run into more barred owls in the woods. That's only ever happened to me once on Don's property. No, twice. Twice now on Don's property. Once before I had moved in, and once since. You guys might remember that one since was in the last year. Wow, look at those mushrooms to your left. Your left.
Oh, wow.
That is some serious orange up there, and that is not fake or made up or anything.
So we're going to test out Kitten's theory. She says it's no problem for her to scoot up these steps.
This was a loop, and we're back where we started now. Halfway through, my heart's at 152. I'm going to get my last 4 out of 30 exercise minutes here. 161 beats per minute. That stairs was more than I needed right now. And I'm still putting one foot in front of the other. Phew. I raised money here with brick dedications. Even though it's a nature preserve, they do allow dogs here. You know, Yates Mill is a nature preserve, but they don't allow dogs. So feel free to come with your dog to this spot. I have a nice shelter here by the parking lot where you can certainly have your Sunday picnic. And we're just about back to Jules. So I am showing 2.5 miles. Don and I talked about keeping old smokestacks on properties even when you take the buildings down for the chimney swifts. These are the birds we have in our fireplace every summer. And they've built a chimney swift tower here to help them. Way cool. Their habitat is greatly endangered when we started tearing down smokestacks from the Industrial Revolution. We have a bat box behind the carport. They prefer the house eaves more than they prefer the bat box, unfortunately. Yeah. Wow. That looks a lot like the park map.
Yeah.
6,746 steps.
Yeah, 6,746 steps. An hour, 32 minutes, 52 seconds, 2.71 miles, 462 calories, 34 minutes per mile, 34:10. And the elevation is on here. Here it is. Elevation, we went from, I don't know if I can get it bigger.
No, apparently not.
We were as high, over 400 feet.
Yeah.
Over 400 feet and probably as low as 300. So it was a good 100-foot elevation. But notice we went up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
And this last piece was those steps. This probably is the creek down here.
Yeah, that one big push back up those steps.
Yeah, that's 322 feet
to 419.
So it was 100 foot of elevation.
Walking those steps,
Walking those steps.
Yeah, we definitely felt those steps.
Yes.
I left Don in the car, no reason to stress him out about how much stuff costs right now, and we have plenty of bacon in our store. That is really cute with the little ghosts up there. Speaking of werewolves, well, shopping in there on Sundays is a bit of a thing. It's pretty crowded with shoppers and with people pulling groceries for people to come and pick up. I've really grown weary of all of those huge carts in any of the stores now where people are picking for other people. It's great if you medical condition, low immunity, I get it, I do, but yeah, they're just hard to navigate through. And had some really great experiences in there today. Like I went up to a guy in the cheese department and asked him if he had any more of my organic spiced apple cider, the Samuel's stuff. And he went in the back and he found me some because it was on sale, $1 a bottle off. So I needed to stock up. And he was really nice. They didn't have the cheese I wanted, but he was pleasant and helpful and efficient and great. And I saw the nice lady at the bakery counter and the lady that bagged my groceries, fantastic. But there were a couple of other people or two that, well, I wasn't as happy. And I'll just leave it there. But it's always some exceptional service in there, at least in certain parts in the store. And today was no exception. And I didn't see Clarissa, but hi, Clarissa. I am all ready to prepare our post-fast feast. It's 4 p.m. and I'll be cooking shortly. Little neck clams, white shrimp. Everything has butter and green onions and some scallops. And the shrimp sauce will have whipping cream, and the clam sauce will have the Marsala cooking wine.